I want to talk next to condo owners. And so if you're a condo owner and you're thinking about selling your property, the Tampa Bay market, I've talked about this for months, is really kind of separated into two markets. You have condos and then you have everything else. And so a lot of the things that I talk about in the marketplace, because condos are a small percentage of the overall total sales across the entire Tampa Bay area, in the condo market, a lot of the things I'm talking about are actually worse. I want to talk about the why behind that, but I also want to tell people that if you don't have to sell a condo right now, if you own a condo and you're like, I could sell it now, or maybe I could sell it in 3 or 4 years, I would tell you, don't sell it now. Truthfully, this is not the opportune time to sell condos. The inventory, month supply of inventory on condos in Tampa Bay is near the same month supply inventory. In other words, the supply demand curve, the demand is comparable to what it was for real estate during the Great Recession. We have a massive amount of condo inventory. In some zip codes and areas, 15 plus months. It ranges from 10 to 15 months, depending on the part of Tampa Bay that we're talking about. A whole variety of factors contribute to this, but I'll kind of summarize them. But first, I'll tell condo owners, if you don't have to sell, don't. If you do have to sell, or you'd sell, but you don't really have to, or you'd sell, but you only sell if you get to this number, you're only selling if you can make a profit, don't sell because you ain't going to make it, okay? I'm being brutally honest with you because it's the truth. Right now, the condo market is very challenging. You've got rising insurance. You've got rising HOA fees because of all of the milestone surveys that have to be completed. And then you have the storms that caused the condos, which a lot of people have as second and third homes. A lot of those were damaged, and now those owners don't want to come back to them. And then that market specifically, because it is a vacation market, the demand is zapped because the storm and the news reporting behind them in our market. So the condo market is really challenging right now. So again, if you don't have to sell, don't. If you do have to sell, be prepared to be aggressive with your price and aggressive with your condition. We are literally having condo owners call us and say, I want you to sell my home and here's my terms. And we're saying no. We're saying we can't do that. That's not realistic. That's fantasy land. That would take a lightning strike or a miracle. It's just not possible. So if you're coming to the market and you have a condo, you better be the best priced condo in your building or very close to that or very close to best condition. We're seeing some condo buildings with 15, 20 units and 1 unit selling a month. To be that next one that sells when prices are dropping, you've got to be ahead of the downward trend. You've got to be so aggressive that you will just move the market and that you'll be the next one that the buyers pick. So if your condition of your condo is, if it's outdated, you better improve it. You better do the upgrades. And if you don't have the upgrades, you better price it super aggressive so that somebody can afford to do the upgrades after they buy. Because the number of buyers for condos right now has shrunk dramatically. There is not a successful market for that. When you separate out the condos, that's going to be a market that's going to take longer to correct. That segment of our market, that small portion of our home sales, it's going to take longer to correct and get prices back moving in a positive direction because of the HOA fee increases, the assessments from all the extra milestone surveys and inspections that have to be done in these condo communities, the increase in insurance, which we know is going to be even more extravagant after these storms because the insurance companies haven't even had a chance to address the rates yet. They're too busy paying out people's claims. So all of those reasons, people are getting ahead of that, and so many condo owners are selling, and it's flooding the market with inventory. There's just way more people wanting to sell their condo than there are buyers that are wanting to take on that risk and buy them. And the buyers that do want to take on that risk and buy them, they look at it and they completely understand. They can do math. They can look up and see how many are on the market. They know the only way they're buying is if they get a deal. So the condo market really tough. Now, where that isn't as applicable, okay? If you're talking about brand new high rises, and I'm talking brand new, like really contemporary modern buildings, multi-million-dollar condos, those it's not hitting as hard because a lot of those buildings, the attraction and the wealth and the people that buy those, they're not impacted by this. Condos under $1 million, much more relevant for everything I've just talked about. But the newer modern buildings built the last couple of years, those were built to higher standards. Those HOA fees aren't likely to rise as much. And then that audience, truthfully, because they want to live here or they want to buy in that new, sexy, sleek building. That segment of the market isn't being hit as hard. There's still some of those selling, and there are people in that segment of the marketplace that will pay a premium for condition or location within a building because they have the money. They're not worried about affordability. Anyone buying a condo and worried about affordability, that's a consumer sentiment in that particular price point. That market is crushed. That market is in a really rough place. The higher end, the uber luxury condos, those are going to continue to do well as more, wealthy people look at those options and say, hey, I'm okay buying that. So that's in essence what we see, the kind of duality of single family homes versus condos going on in the real estate market, and kind of a statistical update, what I expect to see in 2025.